this is our 9th episode of our 2018 weekly vlog series. As you can still see, we're still at Disney. We're on the boardwalk.
Not for much longer there.
No, we're about to leave. And so we thought we'd take you guys with us today while we're traveling. And we just checked our luggage. They have the airline check-in here at the resort, which is nice. So now we're gonna see if the Boardwalk Bakery is open. I don't know if it's open this early, but we're gonna check. Bye, Boardwalk. You've been awesome. We had an awesome stay, wouldn't you agree? This is one of our better ones. It was really nice. Our room was actually right over here. Even though it's considered garden view, we could see the boardwalk, we could see the water. It was just great. Here's what the Boardwalk Bakery looks like. It's pretty small, but really nice. And they have limited offerings, but they're all good. It's the saddest sign. It's great when you're coming, sad when you're leaving. Here we are on the Magical Express, or depressed. We're a little sad leaving. It was a fun trip. So this ride is super fun going one direction and not so much going to your airplane terminal. The airport is bustling, and as always, Starbucks has a huge line. I'm so glad that I don't drink coffee. And now the long wait at the airport for our flight because the Magical Express brings you so early. And I know that's just to be on the safe side, but for us, we have TSA pre-check, so we always end up doing the sit and wait. So we're very familiar with the MCO terminal here for Southwest. Several of you asked questions about staying at the boardwalk with the view that we had. I will try to remember to put like a picture of the view or something right here because the videos won't be out for a while. So if you weren't following us on Instagram or Twitter, you may not have seen the view. So we had a garden pool view, which is what we always get there for the when we rent DVC. But this time we were facing the boardwalk side right in the middle. So technically still garden view, but we could see the boardwalk, we could see the water, so it was amazing, and we could see Spaceship Earth. And so people asked, was it noisy? Yes, you could hear noise, no doubt about it. Would I call it noisy? I don't know, it's very subjective. You could hear the boats, you know, because they always sort of honk as they come in and leave. You could hear the fireworks. I mean, they were really loud from Epcot, but I mean, that's even true on the other side, and you can also hear the Hollywood Studio ones on the other side and see them when you're on the other side. When I say the other side, I'm talking about the side facing the pool, the main pool. So, is it any worse? I don't think so. I mean, other than maybe the boats, I'd say that was the big difference. You could hear the boats. But we always bring a white noise maker with us on vacation. Well, we use it at home too, and we bring it with us on vacation. It's a travel size, and so with that on, nothing other than the fireworks, and which they're pretty early. They're at like 9 o'clock at Epcot. There's nothing that would keep me awake noise-wise. What I will mention is it was super bright. They have those blackout drapes, but all around the edge of the drapes, tons of light from the boardwalk, because you know they have all those lights and stuff that was coming in the room. So that actually, I have those eye cover things. I had to wear those every night, and I don't like wearing them. I don't find them comfortable. So that for me was a negative because it was so bright. I mean, it was the kind of bright where you could get up in the middle of the night and walk around and you didn't need to turn a light on. So for me, the light was more disturbing than the noise, but neither was enough to undo the coolness of that view. I love the view, so it was worth wearing an eye mask every night. Let's see, other trip thoughts. We're going to do a full review on Flower and Garden, so I'm not going to talk about that now. That should be out hopefully in a week or so, as soon as we can get it done. The weather for me was wonderful. For Brian, it was too cool. Last year, we came the same week, and it was warmer, so that's just that random weather this time of the year. But we had probably 2 days this week where you had to wear a jacket almost the entire day, and jeans. But then we had an 80s day, so you know it varied a lot. I loved it because I wasn't super hot all week, which I don't like being hot. Brian is a little cooler in nature than me, so for him it was cool. You know, in the mornings it was in the 40s when we wait for the bus some days, so it was definitely cool. So more boardwalk stuff for those of you interested, and I'll link to our boardwalk review. We have a review, but this trip confirmed once again that the bus service is not good. I'm sorry, it's just not. If you get there when the bus pulls up, it's great, but if you miss it, you're in for a long wait, especially to Animal Kingdom. Both times I think we waited 45 minutes for the bus. We ended up having to run to make our first fast pass because of that. One day we had hoped to make rope drop and we weren't even close because of that, and we were at the bus stop way early, like way earlier, you know. So it's great that you can walk to Epcot. That's why we stay there. That's why it's worth it. It's great that you can walk to Hollywood Studios. But for Animal Kingdom, which is our second favorite park, bus service not so great. Magic Kingdom we have better luck, but I think it's just because we happened to get there when the bus was about to leave, so we just lucked out with that. But yeah, Animal Kingdom, they only seem to run 2 buses, and it's a good 20-25 minute bus ride, so I think they need like a 3rd bus for that, because you know, if they have to load an ECV or something, that takes longer, so you can end up waiting quite a while. So that would be my comment on that. I don't think that have much else to say. The quick service is very limited, which we've talked about before. I think we talked about that in our review. But we still had an amazing time and we still love it. I think it's my favorite resort when you factor everything in. I think Brian's is Beach Club, and I think we both love Animal Kingdom Lodge just for the resort itself the most, but for actual convenience to Epcot, for us, Boardwalk and Beach Club are always going to be favorites. And also, if you're interested in info on running DVC, because we get a lot of questions about that still, we have a video for that too. And even though we filmed it a little while ago, it's still completely relevant. Everything is still the same, and we still use the same company that we mentioned, and we're not affiliated with them at all, nor do we recommend necessarily running DVC points. It just works for us, but there's risk involved, which we talk about in that video. So overall, we both agree this is probably in our top 3 trips of all time. We had a great time. The room was great, the festival was fun, all the parks were fun, seeing friends was amazing. We have made it back, and now it's time for the super not fun task of unpacking and doing laundry and cooking and all that stuff. So since we didn't have enough to do today, that's sarcasm on my part, so we came home from Disney. We've done tons of laundry. There's laundry hanging everywhere around us right now. I'm not even done unpacking. Went to the grocery store, cooked some stuff.
Yeah, both of us went to our own grocery store.
So I still have a ton of stuff to do, but because I didn't have enough to do, I went ahead and recorded the flower and garden video, which hopefully will be out well before this video, and I will link to it right there. Probably running out of links for this week. I feel like I'm linking a lot of stuff. And
a quick
so it's basically our review of the Flower and Garden Festival and what we ate and what we experienced at the festival. But then also, yeah, a really super quick haul. We didn't have a huge haul from this trip, so we went ahead and recorded that. And I'm not sure when that will be out, but it'll be out at a future date from now. Possibly before this, but maybe after it. Also, we have been getting a lot of questions, both are you going to do a Q&A or asking us questions, asking Disney tips, all kinds of stuff. So we wanted to open up for you to ask us questions, and we'll do a Q&A video in the future. And we'll sit down so Brian doesn't have to do what he's doing now, which is basically squat.
That's right, first question. So how tall is Carmen and how tall is Brian?
We'll see if anyone asks that. And if you can, please leave all questions in the comments below, because please don't do it on social media. I'm afraid I'll miss a question. Please put them all below in the comments and I will compile them, and at a future point we will do a Q&A video. So it's Sunday, it's in the 40s and raining. This is rude to come home to from Disney World. It's also time change day, not a fan of this one. Brian's been super busy cooking up a storm today. I tried to do as much stuff as I could yesterday so I wouldn't have such a crazy day, but I did just cook some chicken for my lunch salads, and I'm going to be editing video I think most of the day. I tried to start yesterday, but I forgot I had to copy all the footage from 8 days worth of videos before I could even start editing our flower and garden review, because I need footage of the food from the festival. So I'm probably going to be working on that mostly today. I don't know if we're doing anything else. Any plans to play a game today, Brian?
Depends if you have time.
Yeah, I'll make time for that. That would be fun. It would be fun to play a tabletop game or do something fun. Make up for this bad weather. Hey guys, it's Monday, first day back to work after vacation, also after the time change, and it's 36 and snowing. This is crazy. Apparently, I saw someone saying it was snowing around here last year on the same day, so obviously it's not a completely unusual occurrence, but usually when we get to March here, we don't see a lot of snow, and I don't think this is gonna stick, but it's definitely snowing. This would probably show up better if I would turn the lights off in the kitchen, but you still get the idea. It's snowing. And you know, it's starting to stick a little on the deck, so elevated surfaces like that will probably have some snow stick, but because the ground temperature has been pretty warm, I really am not expecting much in the way of accumulation, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what it looks like in the morning. So we have a little more accumulation, but I still don't think this is going to do much because it's almost 5 now, and it's actually supposed to stop by like 8 p.m. Now, will some stuff freeze on the roads overnight? Probably, like, you know, black ice spots, but that's probably about it. Hello, it's Tuesday, and so you saw the snow yesterday. You wouldn't even know that it snowed. It didn't get that warm today. It was only in the 40s. But every tiny bit of snow melted because it was sunny all day and above freezing. But it was enough to make the roads slick this morning. However, I'm glad it's gone. I have to be honest. I'm at that point of the year now, even though we're in the south and we don't get a lot of snow, I'm over winter, just over it, ready for warm weather to come back. We had an amazingly warm February, and now we're having a really cold March. Granted, I spent the first part of it in Disney, but since I've been back, it's been really cold for March. And I think it's gonna stay kind of cool. No snow or anything, but I think it's gonna stay kind of cool the rest of this week if memory serves. Like when I walked today at lunch, it was only 39 and the wind was howling. So no, I'm just done. Just done with it. And I know you guys up in the Northeast are having a terrible time, so I'm sorry. Sorry that you have to hear me whine because I know you have it much worse than we do, but wow. I live in the South for a reason, and it's not for this weather. I'm ready for warm weather. That's why eventually we do plan to move further south. I don't know where yet, but that's on our long-term plan, is to get somewhere even warmer. I just don't like the cold, and Brian actually tolerates the cold even less than I do. He just happens to work out inside, so I don't think here when we're home it bothers him as much because he's pretty much indoors all day, whereas I try to walk outside unless it's like yesterday and raining and cold. That's about the only time I don't go out, is the combination of raining and cold, and then I'll work out inside, but otherwise I try to get outside every day even if it's cold. I like the sunshine. Hey guys, it is Wednesday. It feels like it should be Thursday or Friday, but it's not. It's Wednesday. And I think it's funny, I always complain the Monday after vacation stuff, this is tough. I really think Wednesday is the day that it finally hits me, that I'm like, oh, I'm back to work. You know, it's not that I'm tireder now, it's just that the fact that, you know, you may not have a time off for a while sort of settles. But anyway, it wasn't a bad day or anything, other than some Disney news, which I'll talk about in a moment. But still, it's Wednesday. So the Disney stuff, I'm gonna do something that you won't hear from me that often. Now, you know, we're honest. If we don't like something, we say it. If we like something, we say it. So it's not an issue of that. It's just that, you know, we love Disney, and so most of the time we feel pretty positive about it. But today's news, I do feel positive about. They announced, and it's on the official Disney website, not the announcement. Disney never announces things like this, really. They just sort of stick it in there. But you can go to the Disney website and search for Disney Resort Hotel parking. They added, if you haven't already heard, they added parking fees. Starts, I believe, March 21st, but check on the Disney website, meaning it's effective March 21st of this year. And I know it's $13 a night for overnight parking at value resorts, and I know it's $24 for deluxe. I'm not even going to quote moderate because I didn't pay much attention, because we almost never stay moderate. I know that sounds crazy, but we just don't. We tend to either go really cheap and stay at Pop, not that Pop's cheap, but you know what I'm saying. We try to do a value trip, or we go all out. So I didn't even really pay attention, but it's on Disney's website. You can easily look it up. I am not happy, and this is what I'm gonna say, you're not gonna hear me say often. You know, they raised AP prices huge this year, I didn't complain. Not that I was happy about it, but I didn't complain. You know, they raised resort prices a lot this year, I didn't complain. But I gotta say that I'm not happy about this change. We typically once a year try to do a bonus trip. We don't plan it. This means we are spontaneous and we get a good deal on Pop Century and we drive down to save money. And we definitely won't be doing that anymore at $13 extra a night because Pop's raised their rates pretty high. So add that $13, you're gonna be easily paying $200 a night depending on what time of the year it is and what kind of deal that you got. Also, sometimes when we drive, we get a rental car for various reasons. Sometimes we don't, but sometimes we do. And now I feel like it's taken that flexibility away. This past trip, we didn't have it, but the trip before that we did. Some of that depends on, you know, how cheap we can get a rental car and all that. And we just put a video out on tips for renting a car, which now I feel like was a total waste of time because I feel like most people are not going to rent a car. But if you haven't seen that, I'll link it right over here. So how will this affect us? This year and part of next year it won't at all because we've already booked trips through renting DVC points, which means we've already paid a huge deposit. So we will carry on as we have been, but we will not be renting a car. And we will not, well actually I shouldn't say it doesn't affect us because we will not be renting a car for sure. Whereas used to, we kind of played it by ear. We definitely won't be taking any bonus trips, meaning where we just say, hey, we were gonna go to the beach for the week, but why don't we go to Disney 5 days and then the beach the rest of the week? We won't be doing that anymore because we always drove our car for that. And after about halfway through next year, I would say that combined with the price of an out-of-state annual pass may cause us to rethink how much we go to Disney. Don't worry, we're still gonna go. I would say we're gonna go minimum twice a year, probably more. But like this year, we're probably gonna end up going 5 or 6 times, and I just don't think I'll be anywhere near that. I think between this change and the annual pass increase, we may look at going twice a year and just not getting an annual pass. We'll see. I may completely get over this in a few days and everything will be fine, but I don't think so because I think they're going to keep adding more and more fees. I mean, that's my big concern. I'm starting to get nervous running DVC points way out in advance because they add these things and you're already committed. So more than 2 trips a year, I just don't know if I'm going to want to commit because we basically commit 11 months out and put a substantial deposit. It's more than half of the cost of the trip down. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to crunch some numbers and see how that works out for us. But we love Disney, so we're still gonna go. It just may not be quite as much. And if you feel like I'm making too big of a deal out of this, I know how that sounds. It's just a parking fee and lots of places charge parking fees. I get all that. It's just that one more thing. You know, they raised resort rates a lot this year. They raised out-of-state APs a huge amount this year. And so it's that I could eat the one, I could take the second, and this is just like the tiny straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, where I'm just like, And if you're sitting there saying, why are you talking to us? You should talk to Disney. I did send an email to Disney today expressing my displeasure, and I doubt it will amount to anything. I think Disney's going to continue to charge for anything that they can as long as they can. And if last week's any indication, they're still making tons of money because it's the most crowded we've ever seen at that time of the year, even compared to last year that same week. So I know they're just going to keep charging as long as they can. I think it's going to take either a pretty significant recession, really on a global scale, not just the US, because so many people come from abroad, including many of you, or some other major event for them to lower their prices or at least quit raising them at the rate that they have been. So that's going to end Carmen Rant, and I apologize if it was a downer, but I just could not say anything. This one just really got to me. I don't know why. I don't know why this one thing, but it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The one thing I've always liked about Disney is, yes, you're paying a premium price, but everything was kind of included. And, you know, over the last few years, that's been less and less true. And I just got a survey, maybe that's part of it. I just got a survey from Disney this week that I already did, and they asked how the bus service was, and I gave it a poor rating. And they said, well, did you know about minivans and did you use it? And I said, no, of course. And then it said, why? And I said, too expensive. If you're not familiar with minivans, that's where you basically using the Lyft app, you can call it's run by Disney employees. You can order on the app to your resort a minivan. This is Disney Resort, and then they'll take you where you want to go. Like to another park or another resort, and it's $25 currently each way, and so that's substantially more than an Uber or a regular Lyft. So you know, that's not something I can't see us ever using that, honestly, unless it was like when Uber has surge pricing and Uber's not that much different, then maybe we would consider it, but otherwise I can't see us ever using that. But it just, to me, that shows you that they're thinking along those lines. It's like, well, you're not happy with the bus service, so why don't you pay for this add-on service? So anyway, I'll end it there. I may even edit this some so that you guys don't have to listen to me. But I had to get that off my chest. So one more day to the work week this week. I mean, no, 2 more days, and then it's over, which I'm very grateful for. See, I'm trying to rush the end of the week, and Brian doesn't have a very fun weekend planned because I think he's going to do our taxes, which is not the most exciting thing to do, but it's that time of the year, and I'm looking forward to just a weekend at home. I know it's probably not as exciting for you guys, but we've got a bunch of plans coming up in the future weekends, including next weekend is, not this one, but the next one is Carowinds opening day, yay, which we're excited about. And then of course we'll be headed back to Myrtle Beach as soon as our home repairs are finished. So I'm just looking forward to a relaxing, no obligation type weekend, because I literally have no plans, no nothing. I'm sure we'll end up, if Brian has time with taxes, playing a tabletop game, but we'll have to see. Guys, it is Thursday, yay. One more work day this week, and it's warmed up. It's in the 60s today, so much nicer. Still very windy. I know it's March, but it's like really windy compared to what we normally have around here, but still a great day, can't complain. How do I feel about the Disney charging for parking? Still don't like it. I did hear from our travel agent that we use for renting DVC points, which is covered in that DVC point rental video that I mentioned. We have her name in the show notes there. And she said that they're checking in to find out if renters will have to pay or not. She said, since we're technically a guest of the owner, we may not have to pay. I'm not gonna hold my breath. I also noticed on the Disney website, it says reservations made after March 21st. Well, we already have some reservations made, so it sounds like those are gonna be exempt from the parking, but I don't know how they're gonna keep up with that. Of course, if they scan your Magic Band when you go through security, I guess they can tell when you made your reservation, but that seems kind of tricky. Like, I still don't think I'd rent a car because I wouldn't wanna risk getting charged, because that seems kind of hard for them to track. I don't know. I'm sure they have a way to do it, but I don't think anything major came out news-wise today, so that's pretty much it for this week. As always, we appreciate subscribes, likes, shares, and comments. Until our next adventure.